Hello everybody, and this is a Path of Exile. I recently got back into the game, updated the new patch. This is on the Xbox One. So I'm going to go through, first I have Butcher Charlie, who's level 34 at the Syrian encampment, and I'm going to go and tell you like where I went. Now each build you can build differently, different nodes do different things. So I'm gonna talk about my Marauder, and I did a Scion, and I also have a Shadow. So this is like my big character. So I went melee damage, and then we went over and did 12% increased melee damage, and then 10% increased melee damage, and then I went down so I can get 5% melee attack speed. Then I did 14% increased melee physical, then 10% physical damage, and then I went to Born to Fight, which is 4% increased attack speed, 20% to accuracy rating, 26% to melee physical damage. Now I went up first, so we're going to go up and then come back down and come to the sides. Because I didn't really plan out my build that well. So, I'm still learning this stuff. I did 10 to strength, and then I went over to axe and sword damage. 12% increased physical damage with axes, 12% with physical damage with swords, 12% damage with ailments from attack skills while wielding an axe, 12% increased damage with ailments while wielding a sword. And then from there I went to axe and sword. I did more axe and sword damage. The axes, the swords, ailments, all of them another 12%. And then I did by the blade, 24% damage with axes, another 24 with swords, 10% to my accuracy rating, 16% to my evasion rating, 24%. Okay, so I just did that one. I haven't done these yet. So those ones I just told you what I haven't done yet. So I did 10 to intelligence, another 10 to strength, life regeneration 0.5, and I went over to another 10% to strength, 30 to expertise and dexterity, and then ancestral knowledge, there's 30 to intelligence. And then we went plus 10 to dexterity. Right here we did another 10 to strength, and then staff and mace damage because I use maces a lot. And then I did Fantasy, which is 20% increased armor, 10% increase maximum energy shield, 1% life regeneration per second, 10% to strength and intelligence, and I did mana and reduce cost, so it reduces the cost of using my skills. And then I did Righteous Decree, which is 20% higher mana and 6% reduce the cost. And that's all I did from up here. And then I kind of went all over the place, because then from Born to Fight, I went one-headed melee damage, 12% increase with melee weapons, 12% increased damage from attack skills. So that increases the skills when you're using any skill that has to do with melee stuff. One-handed melee damage, another 12%, and another 12%. So from there I went down to 5% increased maximum life, which is really good with Marauder. And then I went up to the other side. This is accuracy and reduced mana cost. So 10% increased accuracy rating, 4% reduced mana cost. And then we went down to 12% increased armor, 4% increased maximum life. and then I did Heart of the Warrior, 20% maximum life, 10% to increase maximum life, 10 to strength. Versatility, I did 4% increase attack speed, 20% in accuracy rating, 4% reduced mana cost of skills, and 20 to dexterity and intelligence. So as I'm doing these, the cost to use my skills keeps going down. We had accuracy right here, 10% accuracy rating, reduced costs. I did Warrior's Blood, which is 1.8 of life regeneration per second, 20% increased stun threshold, and 20 to strength. And then I did +6 to life and to increase armor, 4% to increase maximum life. Then we went +10 to strength, another 10 to strength, another 10 to strength. And then I went into life gain. So life gain and leech are good stuff to have because they can really, every time you hit somebody, you just get your life back. So I did +2 life gain when enemy attacks, 10% increased life leech. And then I did another life leech. And this one is Lust for Carnage. 1.2% of physical attack damage leeched as life. 20% increased life leech per second. And then I went 20 to strength. Now the cool thing about this character that I made, I just randomly picking stuff. Like, I'm not super good at making awesome builds, but there's so much that I can go, that you could just go to. Now, I don't use a lot of spells, but like, I can easily, so I went back up, and if I go to Fantasy, I can go off to the side, and all these are like armor and energy shields, which I really should focus on increasing my mana and life regeneration, and that could really help out, because right now my character is doing pretty well, but I think I need to go back and I need to grind a little bit because he's not at the level I think he should be. Because right now I'm working on different character classes, and the Marauder, which is the Barbarian. Because right now I could refund 2 points, but he's pretty good. Sunder is one of my... Sunder and Leap Slam are ones I use a lot, and then I use Fireball when I'm back further. So I use a lot of fire into him. So we're going to go now and look at... I'm going to talk about one of my other characters. So we're going to go to character selection. Now, I started a new character, one that I haven't used this class before. So, it's in the Bestiary League, so it's in a different league than the other ones. The other ones are all standard, but every time a new league starts, I try and put another one in there. And she is the Scion class, I think is what it's called. But literally, I am just trying to figure out... let's see. So with this one, I don't have... She's not high level yet, so I just started it. So this one is like one of the specialty classes that you could get. So what I did is you have... This one is the first one I know where you have 5 directions you can... 2, 4... You can go 6 directions. So far I've done spell damage and intelligence, which is 8% increased spell damage and 5% intelligence, and then I did mana regeneration because I'm using the mana, and the mana is going because I have the vials and I don't have the things yet. Because if you are in a different league than the other ones, you can't use the stuff you already have in your inventory. And then I did life and strength, so 10 to maximum life and 5 to strength. I did projectile damage and dexterity, which is 8% per projectile damage, and I didn't get anything else yet. And so what I was thinking of doing was spell damage would probably be good, but let's look at if I went this route, this one would show me like where to go. So I would be able to, because you can do spell damage, and then another increase the spell again, then you can move out, and then that increases your attack speed, cast, and movement speed. So there's one node you can go over, and it's all spells. If you go attack speed, I can go critical strike multiplier, go there again, and you can go to higher killer, which increases your maximum life 10% gain. And if you go the life route, you can go life regeneration, mana, more mana, life regen, and then you can go here. That's increased mana regeneration rate, 1% of life regenerated per second. So, if I was to grind with this character, I can see where it could go. But if we go down here to where I do the projectile damage, it's increased projectile, and then go down here, you can go 24% increased evasion rating and armor. That can hit you to the armor, and then you can go off to the side. If you get Sentinel, you can move over. There's dexterity, skill duration, and that it can increase your skill performance. Well, there's one right here. This is really fucking cool. Mana and flasks. 10% increased recovery from mana flasks. Another 15% right there. And then this one really... So literally, this character can, because there's one over here for life flasks too. So literally, in order to get to that point though, you would have to be like a high level. So it's literally trying to find out the best route for this character, because you can even go up, and you'll go from if you go from mana regen, there's cast speed, and then you can go up to 16% increase spell damage, and from there you can increase your energy shields, and it's right here. See, you could just go here. So if you go from the Harrier, which increases your attack speed, your cast speed, and your movement speed, you go get more intelligence, and then right here, aura effects. You could do aura effects, and then the intelligence you can go up to here, and there's like conduit, which is frenzy and endurance. There's like so much. This is the one character I'm noticing that any direction you go, your character will be fine and will be a really cool character to have. So I think I'm going to play around more with this character. I'm only a level 5, but I really need to work on this character and get it better, just to see like where to go from here. I'm still in the early parts of the first area, so I'm going to play around with it and try and do some character progression. So I'm going to cut it there, and then we'll come back and we'll see how the Scion's doing. I think I'm going to put in about a couple hours worth of gameplay and see how far it takes me. So I'll talk to you guys later.